Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Let's see if I can't. There we go. I need the chair up there. That'll be a little easier to do. I forgot to do this last night, but this is the woodworking that I did on my CNC router. Yeah, let's get a little closer look here. Focus a little better. So we're going to go ahead and like polyurethane the whole thing and then paint inside the letters to make it stand out. There'll be a lower half of the sign that set this out of the way here. That'll have some images on it. Hello, Gwen. Nice to see you on. You are always bright and early and usually one of the first people in the chat, so I really appreciate the fact that you are a regular viewer. Speaking of regular viewers, apparently YouTube is dropping their requirements lower for being a part of the partner programs, aka monetization, where instead of needing 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours or 10 million YouTube views in the last, or YouTube short views in the last 90 days, you need 2 of those. It's now going to be 500 subscribers, which I'm already over that, and also 3,000 watch hours in the last year, and 3 million YouTube short views in like 90 days or whatever that is. I don't think I'm ever going to hit the shorts level necessary to qualify under that, but so I have the subs requirement. Once they roll it out, I'm assuming they're going to roll it out at VidCon this weekend or whenever they have that exactly. I wasn't paying that close attention. I just know it's coming up this weekend, I think. But I've only got about 1,730 some watch hours over the last 12 months. So I will need to produce more content, as they say, to see if people can watch more. That'll help me out there. Yeah, the short views is like ridiculous. As a matter of fact, I think I could actually share that. So let me bring up that, since a lot of people don't. I mean, you can see the windows if you look at it in YouTube Studio, but not everybody knows where to look. So let me quickly share that. Okay, share screen and channel dashboard. Okay. Let me get to the right spot first and share. Okay. So this is the channel dashboard for, this is the earn thing. So as you can see, I'm at 785 subscribers. Hey, Erica, nice to see you on. Welcome to the stream. So that'll drop down to 500. Those are my year-long hours of watched video, and the 10 million shorts in the last 90 days. I'm at 8.9 thousand, not quite enough to register. If I hit 9,000, it gives me a little teeny blip. But anyway, I don't mean to bore you guys with that, but it was a bit of a surprise hearing about it today. All right, so let me get the mouse on the right screen because, okay, there we go. We are back to here. So I should probably go ahead and get started braiding because that is the point here. Oh, I also wanted to oh, there. Sorry. I saw the tape measure earlier and set it some safe place. I set it on top of the camera. So I just want to get a semi-official measurement for from the edge of the Maru-dai disc. All right. Let's see. How much braid have I done so far? So just under 49 inches from outside of the Maru-dai. There's probably like about 4 or 5 more inches to the point of braiding. So that was 49 inches. We'll check again at the into the stream. So Erica, I don't think I've seen you on before. Welcome to the stream. If you have any questions about braiding in general, life, the universe, and everything, or whatnot, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to answer. All right, so for the pattern on this braid, these 4 on each side are the cross pieces. They go back and forth. The rest of them go top to bottom, and we have them separated in pairs, 1, 2, and 3 on each side, 1, 2, and 3. And the edges of the pairs next to each other have a matching color. So this being the center line, things facing this way are the inside, things facing that way are the outside. So for the outermost pair, the outside one goes to the inside of the opposite pair. The outermost one from that goes to the inside of the previous pair. Take the next pair, the outside edge goes to the inside. The outside edge from there goes to the inside here. Outside edge goes to the inside there. Outside edge goes to the inside here. I know I've done it right if I still have matching color edges. So we have match from there to there, and match from there to there, and matching there and there. Okay, so once those are done, we take from the right side here, or right outside there, move to the center on the left side, and we take the left outside, move to the center on the right side, and we pull them snug every move to keep the tension even, and that is the braid. And we just keep repeating that. Though I just noticed that some of my tama are a bit high up, so I should roll those down a little bit so I have room to braid. Take a little second here. I do have to admit, I've been replaying the little bit of Ian's comment about liking to listen to me while he's doing legal writing and whatnot, which made my night. I played it to my wife and to our roommate, and also planning on sending a link to that spot to my folks. And I have to say that they've been very, Ian and Rob have been very supportive. I think since I mentioned that I was kind of being stuck at the just under 700 subscribers in less than a week, I am almost to 800. And I'm just really grateful for that, for everybody who's decided to give me a sub, and for the support that I've gotten from Nick and Ian. Went ahead and also sent a super chat to EDB on her stream today. Didn't get read, but she was running out of time, so and it may have been read and I may have just missed it because I had to let's see. I had to or she had to leave early for a meeting, and I was at work, so I wasn't really able to catch every bit of her stream, but the tracking says that it arrived at her P.O. box yesterday, so hopefully she'll be able to see it relatively soon. Hope she opens it on air or something like that, or shows it on air, because it's nice to see people's reactions when they get stuff that I've sent them. But if not, hey, she is a very busy channel, and it's meant to be nice, not to impose. And it was also sent without arranging it in advance, like I've done for most of my other braids that I've done online. Because I talked to Nick Ricada, Ian Runkle, Rob, and Danny on ahead of time to see if the braid is something they wanted before I committed to making it for them. It's just that it had a lot of purple in it, and I thought that it would be really nice for her. So, and out to in, 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 and Come on. These two are close together. I don't want to grab the wrong one. Out to in. And let's get those a little more evenly spaced. And left to right, and right to left. And pull it snug. Okay. Well, everybody has to start somewhere. I did start with 8 strands myself, and I've been doing this for 25 years, so I wouldn't worry, do it at the level that you're happy in doing with, and at the speed you're happy to do it. It's supposed to be fun, not a job or a race. So, and I do try and do these streams so people get an idea of what's needed and chance to take a look at, see if they like it or not. Yep, I did see that she was going to do that, so I'll try and catch that one as well. I went ahead and subbed to her channel, so I'll get the notifications. Okay, and back to braiding. Okay, out to in, 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 and out to in. Now, tomorrow night, I am going to get the other signs text done, and after that's done, I'll go ahead and get the line drawing part of the art programmed in, and hopefully I'll get those signs done sometime in the next week. I have an air conditioning unit that's supposed to be arriving tomorrow, though the sealant I need for it apparently isn't arriving until early next week. That I'm going to try and get mostly set up over the weekend if I can, because I do not deal with heat nearly as well as I used to. And we don't have AC in the house, and we'll have to see how that goes. But if I can get the AC set up in the garage and my wife decides she's happy with that, I will probably be able to eventually do it in the house, which will be nice there. But if I get the AC set up in the garage and it's too hot to work in the house, I can set up the stream out there and keep these going. So. And just as a heads up, somewhere between July 22nd and August 13th, I am going to be on my annual working vacation. But this year, I am 100% going to remember to bring my streaming equipment with me and I'm not going to do any takadai braids while I'm out there. I don't really have the room to do it properly during my where I'm going to be, where I can actually stream with the space and power to run everything. Whoops, that was a bit far. Okay. There we go. Out to in, 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 and out to in. But like I said, I'll be streaming Maru-dai braiding, and I'm also going to see if I can't track down other people who do Kumihimo and try and do either interview live streams with them or see if they'll let me video them working so I can show how other people do this. So it's not just me and get a little variation in what they can see done. There we go. But apparently the suspected reason for YouTube opening up their requirements for the YouTube partner program is Rumble is starting to dig into their viewership numbers somewhat, and they're trying to keep people on producing content for them. Is it wrong that every time I say content, I feel a little bit dirty? Because I'm not doing this to quote-unquote produce content. I'm doing this to because it's fun and I like sharing it. And out to in, out to in, out to in. There we go. Out to in, out to in, out to in. And when I'm pausing there for a few seconds, what I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit of pressure between two threads so that they're, the tama weights untwist themselves so I can move the ones I need to move. Okay, out to in, and out to, or right to left to right, or right to left, and left to right. And out to in, 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 out to in. The other thing I'm going to try and do this week is get all of the videos I've done of making Ian's braid and doing the compilation time lapse for that and get that uploaded. The one I did of EDB's braid actually got a fair number of views, so I figure if people like that, I should get the other one up and running so people can see that as well. Though it does tend to jump around a little bit more than the one I did for Nick's braid because using different streaming software and having the directions that I work from up on the screen when I'm making the moves does tend to move it around a little bit. But I think people will get the a good grasp of what was actually done. Ooh, I'm behind on the chat. I apologize. Let me catch up here. Okay. Alrighty. Welcome on, Joe Loy. I see you in a lot of other chats, so it's nice to see you on here. I appreciate it. Kat, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. I will do my best to explain anything that you guys have in the way of questions. Let's see. Yeah, my wife really doesn't like AC, especially in cars. It makes her car sick. So I got to figure a way that I can do it where I can stay safe and healthy and not cause her problems as well. Though she also is not doing as well in the heat. So we'll have to come up with something. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm caught up. I can show that to you real quick if you'd like, Kat. I have the videos on my channel, but if you give me just a second here, I think I can bring it up real quick for you to see. Let me just make sure I've got it on this computer. There we go. Let's get to the right folder. Okay, I don't have a picture of the completed braid, but I do have a picture of the pattern so that you can see what it is I'm talking about. Okay. There we go. And let's go ahead and make that full screen essentially. So yeah, that's the pattern I use for Emily's braid. You can see the back and the front are not the same pattern. Okay, let me go ahead and unshare that now. There we go. And close that window. Make sure I got everything up that I need to do. Okay, so I will get back to braiding. I'm probably only going to be on for an hour tonight. I'm still trying to make sure that I get enough sleep that my stay awake medicine, aka Pro Vigil, has enough sleep to work with so that I don't have issues with it. And I think I just managed to grab the wrong ones there. Let's see, that goes there. And okay, so that was the color pattern there. Okay, I think I started grabbing some of the side ones. So these go here. Okay. All right, let's try this again. And out to in, out to in, out to in. Oops. Yeah, out to in, out to in, out to in, and out to in. Okay, colors are matching up right there. And right to left, and left to right. So I'm still waiting for some answers from Rob as to what he wants for his braid. So I'm kind of in a bit of a holding pattern there till he either answers me or I decide, you know what, I'm just going to go with what I think he'll like, but I would prefer to actually get the answers. And I know he's busy, so I don't want to keep bugging him. He's got a full-time legal practice that he's dealing with. But it's not that I don't think I'm going to do anything that he wouldn't like. It's just I'd like to know that he's happy with the redesign I did of his braid pattern, where it's the tumbling robot design as opposed to just a single robot repeating. How long he wants it, if he wants to use it as a belt, or if he just wants it as a sample pattern that he can like frame, or if he wants to use it as a belt, if he wants me to use 2 D-rings at the start so it's easier to use it as a belt, or essentially you've got a buckle on it, those types of things. But I've asked him like once in every type of forum contact I have with him, and hopefully he'll be able to run across one and give me an answer soon. I've got the warping frame that I'm going to use to set up his braid pretty much done. I just need to get like about 6 more large binder clips to finish it off, which obviously is not going to be a big problem to do. Then I need to essentially calibrate an electric drill, because I've got to wind silk off of a cone onto different spools so that I can then have 12 of those spools feed together for the one strand that I'm going to use for each tama. Hey, Kathleen, nice to see you on. Welcome back to the stream. Kat, what happened is about 25 years ago, I was at an SCA camping event in Western Pennsylvania called Pens of War, and a friend of mine came up to me, handed me a round disc cut out of the side of a 12-pack of soda that had notches cut in on the edge, and 8 skeins of DMC cotton embroidery floss, and handed it to me and said, "Hey, I think you'd like this. Let me show you how to do it." And that's how I started. Within about 2 or 3 years, I'd made my first takadai, and I've been plugging away at this ever since, learning what I can. I make Marudais, takadais, and bought molds so I can have these weights injection molded and made for me. Traditionally, they're wood, but it's easier for me to get a consistent weight using the plastic ones and steel cut cores. Hey, Catherine, nice to see you on. I think you've been on before, but like I have mentioned at other times, my memory for names is unfortunately not that great. I've actually worked with somebody for close to 20 years, and I still have to struggle to remember his name. And since I switched jobs a few years ago, it takes me a fair amount of time to remember it. So, as a matter of fact, since I was talking about winding the silk from the cones onto spools, give me a second to finish this iteration of pattern because I don't want to get lost. Though I'm usually pretty good at figuring out where I am if I do get lost. I will show you the silk that I'm talking about. Hold that snug there. Oh, okay, Catherine. I did think I remembered the name, so I appreciate that. Erica, I have not used leather, though you can use it. My wife has actually used more fibers than I have. I tend to use DMC cotton floss, which is what this is, and what I've used on Emily D. Baker's braid. What I did for Ian, Makiko Tada, and I'm going to do for Rob is silk that I actually order in from Japan, since this is a Japanese art. But these are the colors that are going to be on Rob's braid. And I can actually probably show you what his pattern is going to be real quick. Sorry to hear that it's still in transit. Hopefully it'll arrive soon. Okay. And give me a second here. And let's share this real quick. Okay. This is let's see, there we go. This is Rob's braid design that I want to go with. I originally showed him this one at the top here, but I figured, rotating it 90 degrees for each iteration makes it look like it's doing cartwheels. So that's what I'm hoping he likes. But if he wants the original without doing this, that's what he'll get. Because I want to make braids that people like, not just variations of what I would like, because I can do that all the time, whenever I want. Woohoo! Congrats on the cast iron pan. I know you were waiting on that. Okay. And let me close that window so I can keep my eye on the status windows from like YouTube and Rumble. Let's see. We're doing 6 people here on YouTube, and looks like 3 people are watching on Rumble. Do a quick refresh, make sure that's right. Yep, looks like we got 3 people on Rumble. Welcome there. Though apparently nobody has actually chatted to me on Rumble. I hope I haven't screwed up the settings for that. Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that. I thought the design would be nice. Okay. And out to in, 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 and out to in. And after I do the side pieces, I gotta drop some more tama down or unroll them so that I have enough length to easily braid. I do include in a description of all the Kumihimo videos I do various sources that you can go for additional instruction if you need books and whatnot, the specific patterns I'm using. I don't really think I can show most of the patterns that I use on stream for copyright issues, but me actually doing them is, I believe, sufficiently transformative that I don't have to deal with copyright problems there, because it's my interpretation of the instructions. The pickup braid, the custom design braids like the one I'm going to do for Rob, the program I'm using came with a book that I purchased a while back, and since I'm using my design for that, I figure I'm perfectly fine with that because it's my original concept or my interpretation of what I would like to do. So, and since most of the people who have come to join the channel and watch what I do are at least LawTube adjacent, I figure trying to stay within the bounds and did I do that right? Okay. In, then I lost track again. I apologize for that. Let's get this back to our base setting. Okay. So blue out to in there, white out in there. Okay, there we go. Well, the ProVigil has been keeping me awake. At the end of the day, I get pretty sleepy again. But actually being awake during the day is worth a little bit of extra sleepiness at night. I just got to try and figure out the best way to deal with it. So it's amazing how sleepy you can get when you're actually awake for a chunk of the day. And out to in, 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 and out to in. And right to left, make sure they're in the center, and left to right. And I want to pull it snug there. Go. Catch up on the chat real quick here. Okay. I think I've seen you on Ian's chat last night. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. A lot of it is practice, and if I was a little more awake, I wouldn't have quite as much of a problem. I also have only, this is like my second time braiding this in like about a month or so. So memory is not quite kinesthetic memory yet, but I usually do reach a point where it is mostly muscle memory, and I don't really have to think about it all that much. Okay, let's see. Keeping up the chat here. Yeah, I haven't been diagnosed either, but I'm pretty sure I have it. My sister just got a diagnosis, and she and I tend to have a lot of similar thought processes. We both have either like narcolepsy or hypersomnia as well. She's having enough of an issue that she's not actually going work. She's essentially working from home until she can get things hashed out with her doctor there, so she gets proper treatment. No, I don't. I am planning on setting up a like a um, Shopify or some other type of store. I just want to have a little bit of inventory for supplies before I do that. I'm going to have like some 3D printed stuff and different like braiding frames available there. I'm hoping to have that up sometime this fall. Let's see. Oops. Okay. Yep. I remember seeing you on the Facebook groups. I think at least 6 or 7 years ago at minimum. Um, you were one of the first people that bought from me after I started doing the injection molding again after a break. Okay, there we go. We're having a really good turnout tonight. It's been kind of slow on streaming turnouts for people who can stop by while I'm live. And I figure that's mostly due to the fact that it's got to be summer and people have more stuff to do outside. And they're not able to watch live because they have places to go and things to do. So I have been doing my best not to stress over that. But I think my busiest live streams have had like somewhere around 10 to 12 people visiting in, which is appreciated. And if you guys watch it on the replay, that's as appreciated as well. I'm just really, really happy today. Ian saying that he listens to my streams while he's doing work just really made me happy. So but yeah, my day job is going well. The lead CNC programmer on that, I think if I heard correctly, is retiring the end of this month, and I'm mostly going to be slotted into that role, which will be make me happy there. I'll get to do more CNC programming, which is one of the things I enjoy doing, and being paid to do it makes it much nicer for me. I get to build my skill set as a for doing stuff that I want to do in my home setup, and also giving me a very monetizable skill set in this day and age. So, amusing story for that. My previous job, I was also a CNC machinist, but I was not a programmer. I was also the IT guy there as well for a while, but I wound up going back on the shop floor, and one of the things I wanted to do was to become a CNC programmer there because that fit in with the stuff I like to do. So I figured I would work on that. I tried to arrange through my work, which says, or my previous employer, which said that they will train you for various things. Basically, you just kind of have to be willing, and they'll make sure it happens. But nothing ever did. So after about a year or so, since this was like the early start of COVID stuff, I noticed that Mastercam, which was the software that my company used for that, was having free online training since they couldn't do in-person training. So I took the online classes, I passed, got the certificate, took it into my work, and they said, "Ooh, okay, well, I guess you've done it. We've got it on record, and we'll keep you in mind." And after about another year of that, still nothing had happened. I talked to my inside source in the middle management of the company to see if there was anybody that, or there's any word of when they were thinking of doing that. And so when they came out with my annual review, they said, "We want you to work on a few more things. It's going to be at least a year before we talk about having you do anything like that." And about that time, my current employer, from a forum post I made about 3D printing and the like, said, "Hey, you said, you've learned Mastercam and whatnot. Why don't you stop by and take a look at our place, see if you like it?" I stopped by, and they offered me $4 an hour more than I was making at my current place, and I'd get to do CNC programming. So that's how I changed jobs. And I'm actually much happier at the new place. Ooh, we're up to 10 people on YouTube. Wow. Thank you very much, people. Let me see if anybody's on, how many we got on the Rumble side. Just do a quick refresh there. We got 4 people watching. So I think we are officially the largest live stream I've done. Thank you very much, everybody. Let me catch up on the chat. Looks like I'm not too far behind. Yep, I still have a bunch of emails from about that time where I sold most of that production run. I tend to be pretty happy in general, especially when I don't have my employment grinding me down. Oh, for the people who came on later, let me show you the CNC woodworking I did over the weekend. I used my new to me rotary planer to plane this down to the thickness that I wanted, and did the V-carve in Gothic black letter font. This took about probably, I think, 30 minutes to carve. We'll go ahead and polyurethane it and then paint in the letters to have that stand out. And it's going to go with another half there. It'll be like 20 inches high by about 30 inches wide. And it'll have some medieval games on it as designs, like a chessboard and a go board, and maybe fox and geese board, or like a chess piece to finish off the design. Period, as in the medieval period. The SCA that I'm in goes from like the fall of the Roman Empire to partway into the European Renaissance. 1601 AD is the official cutoff date. Yeah, period games tent is what it says. And I'll be doing another sign that says modern games tent. It's for people who are at the event, would like to play games, either medieval ones or modern ones. Some kids, they're with their families, they want like a break from all the Middle Ages stuff, and gives them a chance to go and have some fun that isn't necessarily in the theme of the event, but it's a nice break. So, and those that want to do the Middle Ages games can do that as well. So, but one of the event staff asked me if I would make that sign for them, so they have a new sign. And I had the equipment, so sure, I'll do it. Okay, so the extra black one's on the top, not on the bottom. So this is the outside, that's the inside, outside to in, out to in. Those are a little too close together. I just want the blue. There we go. Out to in, out to in, and out to in. And right to left, and left to right. Not quite ready to raise the bag up, but we're getting pretty close. I have a weight bag that is a counterweight. Let me see if I can bring this around so people can see what it is. Basically, this is about half the combined weight of all of the weights on the other end of the strands. And, whoops, it slid down. I guess I'll have to bring it up anyway. And what it does is it provides the even tension between the tama weights on the outside and the counterweight bag on the inside. If you want a tighter braid, you actually have a lighter counterweight, which causes the braid to like raise up here and have a more of a 90-degree angle wrapping point. If you want a looser braid, you use a heavier counterweight, and it draws it down further and makes it like a less harsh of an angle as the threads braid together. Oops. Let's see. This one shifted a little bit. I got to put a little more tension on there to keep that snug. Alrighty. And out to in, 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 and out to in. And when I say I'm usually very happy, part of that when I was like in my early 20s, noticed that I had a lot of negative thought linking going on, which would kind of leave me depressed at the end of it. And about that time, I also was talking with a therapist to try and improve my situation and coping skills. And so while it doesn't work for like chemical-based, brain chemistry-based depression, training myself to where when I noticed that I was linking bad thoughts together, like I got a flat tire on my bike, I don't have the money for a new tire, which means I'm going to have to potentially switch jobs to one that I can get to that's closer, and that type of thing. When I noticed I would do that, I would specifically stop and I would try and figure out, okay, this is, I got a flat tire on my bike, but hey, Joe, my friend, has a tire patch kit and he doesn't live too far away. I think I can walk over with the tire over to his place. He can help me get patched up. I can get that done. That'll allow me to get like a little bit of overtime at my work this weekend, which will help me pay this bill off a little bit faster. So yeah, it's not easy. And as I mentioned, it doesn't work if you have a brain chemistry issues as opposed to a bad thinking strategy that you're going with. But for me, that helped deal with a lot of the issues I'd had as somebody in my late teens and early 20s. And I'm getting close to 55 now, and it's actually served me pretty well. I don't find myself getting into a lot of bad thought spirals. And when I do, it's almost automatic these days to, okay, well, let's solve this problem. So it's a little disconcerting to some of my friends when they present, we got an issue, we're not going to be able to overcome it. It's like, okay, well, that method won't work, but let's try this method or that method. Admittedly, some of my friends really, they don't want to solve the issue. They just wanted to talk about it. And when I realize that's the case, I don't push it. But if they want a course of action, I tend to be pretty good at coming up with one that usually works, even if it's a bit unconventional. And there we go. Catch up the chat again real quick. Let's see. As when we started the stream, it was 49 inches. I will check real quick to see where we are now. Sorry, tongue getting tangled. Yes, it's a Crown Royal bag. Let's see. Yep. Also, I found that discs, especially if foam discs are nice, but you can make do with like a simple cardboard one, are a great way to get started. Okay. All right. Let me grab the tape measure and we'll do a quick measure of how much has been done. So we started this stream with 49 inches from the edge of the Maru-dai. Okay. I just pulled the bag up recently, so it should be pretty close. All right. So we've done about 4 inches. I admit I've been talking a bit more than I've been braiding, but hey, conversation's good, and the people here are nice. Of course, I'm also on Nick Ricada's locals chat, so I have a lot of experience with not nice chatters, so which I'm fine with too. But I tend to operate under the nice mode, so I appreciate that quite a bit. There we go. Gotta unroll some of these tama a bit more, and I'm actually getting to the point where I'm about to hit the leaders. As a matter of fact, I just did right here. So this braid probably has maybe an hour or so's worth of braiding from this point on until it's done. This is all that I have left here. So I'm going to have to come up with another braid I'm willing to do and set up for pretty soon, or I'm going to have to get started on Rob's braid. But this one's been on a while, so I should probably finish it off and get another Maru-dai braid set up pretty soon. Get past those leader knots so they don't unroll and hit the floor like I've been doing with the takadai recently. Go. Yep, these side ones here are going to be my limiting length on here. So I'm probably going to go until about here. When the leader knots hit here is when I'm going to stop. Yep, that and a fairly thick skin. Okay, so best ways to finish braids. If you want to do something like a bracelet, if you look on Amazon or some of the craft sites, they have bracelet ends where it's essentially either a round, oval, or rectangular cup with like a neodymium magnet on the end. And what you can do is you can take the end of your braid, do like a little bit of super glue or epoxy to stiffen it up a little bit, and then use some more in the cup to put it in there. And then do it on the other end. I would make sure to measure with like as you go around your wrist, so you've got a good size, because bracelets don't always measure the way you think they would. And those are a good way to finish off those braids if you want to use them as a bracelet. If you want to use it as like some sort of belt or cord. When I first started out, I just kind of tied a knot around the end where the point of braiding was, left a little bit of fringe and cut it off. Another thing that my wife likes to do is to take some extra thread that matches the color you've been braiding with, or one of them, kind of like sew through the center of the cord, wrap it around like a couple dozen times or so, and then kind of tie it off in a knot, thread it back through again so that your knot kind of gets stuck in the middle, cut it off. That's another way to tie off for a fringe. But yeah, some suggestions there that might hopefully get you started on ways to finish off your braids. But yeah, finishing off braids was one of my not as good at points when I first started out, even up to here. I've come up with ways I'm happy with, and my wife usually comes up with an idea if I can't come up with one on my own. So actually, I kind of met my wife through Kumihimo. I was at a not an SCA, but another medieval recreationist event locally that a mutual friend of my wife and I's was attending. And while we were there, we got to talking about Kumihimo, and she said she wanted to learn it. So arranged a couple of braiding sessions with her. And after a little bit of that, it's like, you know what? You're a nice person. You want to go out for dinner? And I think it was about probably about a year after that we got officially engaged. And we've been married for, it will be 19 years this upcoming September. We got married on September 18th because I felt it would be a little uncomfortable for me to have our anniversary be September 11th, which was the previous Saturday that we were looking at. I realize it's not really superstitious. I just didn't feel comfortable telling people, my anniversary is September 11th, and it was only 3 years after when we got married, so it was still kind of raw on people's minds. So I realized it wouldn't be that much of an issue, but if we had a choice and it was only a week difference, we went with the one that I was happy with and my wife didn't have an issue with. Give me a second here. Let me roll these down, and then I will catch up on chat. I realize as things get busier, I'm going to have to make arrangements with somebody to maybe start the chats for me that I need to respond to, because I won't be able to really read the chat because I got to focus on the braids. Though it's not as bad with the takadai because I look at the computer screen quite a bit. All right, let's see. Well, I'm glad I was able to help. Hopefully you'll find those useful. Yep, we actually have a fair amount in common. We grew up with different sides of the country with different religions, but we actually have some pretty close matching personal beliefs as far as how we should interact with each other and whatnot. So that's nice. Definitely. Okay. We've been going for just about an hour. Trying to figure if I should keep going. I'll go one or two more renditions through. I don't want to. Let me rephrase that. I'm tired enough. I don't think I could go till I've actually got this one finished tonight and still wake up at a reasonable hour tomorrow. I'm not going to have a lot of braiding time left the next time I pick this up, so I will have to pick a braid to do for next time, and I'll probably wind up finishing it off, show how I finish it off on the stream, and get started on the next one. I might go ahead and show my spool winding method if I get that set up. Well, I might wind up doing a slightly different stream. I did the I've done a braiding design stream and a CNC programming stream. I don't know if people would be interested in more of that. I've got some designing I need to do for the other images that I'm going to engrave for the signs. And I'm not all that up on that particular technique with the software I've got for that. So that might be a fun learning thing. The only issue is that the room that the computer that I do my programming on is the living room, which is the room that my wife and roommate tend to watch TV in when I'm doing streams. So that might be a bit noisy. I don't want to interrupt their movie watching time. So we'll have to figure out what I'm going to do. Or I'll have to figure out, but I might ask for some suggestions or do you like A better or B better as the option? And out to in. There we go. Out to in. Out to in. Out to in. Out to in. And out to in. And left to right. And right to left. And that reminds me, I need to arrange some time with a lawyer who is familiar with giveaway rules, because there's some stuff that I'd like to be able to give away on stream, but I also don't want to deal with having issues with that. If I do wind up getting in the monetization program fairly quickly, I don't know if having a member-only type stream/giveaway would make that easier or harder, because it might be part of the member benefit. And as far as I'm aware, in my particular locale, they do have what they call small games of chance licenses, but you have to pay money to essentially enter the game. And I don't think memberships would qualify as "quote unquote" entering the game. And if you don't have, if you're not doing it as a pay me for your ticket and you might get a prize thing, I don't think my locality has any issues with that. So, all right. Well, we've been at it for about an hour. I want to thank everybody so much for coming by. It's been a very wonderful stream. I grew up Mormon. She grew up Mennonite. Let's see. I can see that working. Yeah, I can see how that would be a little disconcerting for some people. Okay. Well, I might go ahead and. Oh, speaking of Mount St. Helens, I was living in Montana as a kid at the time. The people that were talking about the smoke that was on the East Coast recently, and how that was, disturbing for a lot of people. It's like, it's really disturbing when the sky turns black and you get like about a couple inches of gray ash on the ground. Let's see. My oldest sister and youngest sister birthdays are 5 years and 3 days apart. Okay. If anybody has any more questions, please ask them now. I'll go ahead and give it like a minute or so for people to hear that and send a response. If I don't see anything that needs a direct response, then I will go ahead and probably end the stream then. Thanks again, everybody, for coming by. I will probably be streaming the same time Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern time. And going to try and have a Saturday stream. I probably will not have a Friday stream just because I'm working, and I'm probably going to try and get the air conditioning unit set up as much as I can Friday. But all right. So it looks like we're ending the stream. So everybody stay safe and happy braiding.